Yeah, baby. Yeah. The Mac is back. Back with another video. Hello, the initiated. My name is Marcus Junikala, and today we're checking out Soulfi by Teletone Audio. As I've mentioned before many times, one of my favorite sample library developers out there. I was actually very surprised to see a drum library coming out from them, because I feel like Tempo, which is their other library, covers so much ground. Then you also have Electro, which obviously does the electronic side of things, but I felt like that really covers a lot of ground, and you can make Tempo sound like a lot of things, you know, in terms of genres. So I was surprised, but always positively surprised to see anything come out by them, because they have been so good so far. So in terms of what this is, let's go and actually learn about this. So I got the web page open here. Again, the viewing experience for you isn't probably going to be great with my widescreen, but probably better than nothing. So, Soulfi, drums with soul. So I must say that, again, I know very little about this. I kind of want to do like a first impressions kind of a thing as much as possible. So seems like it is stylized in the genre of soul. At least that's how I would interpret this. The heartbeat of soul, recorded with authentic 1955 ribbon microphones and vintage era specific drums. Soulfi captures the heartbeat of a timeless era, reimagined through our innovative Beatmaker. So the Beatmaker, really good stuff. They're so good that I thought these must be actual live performances by great drummers turned into MIDI and imported into the Beatmaker. But at least based on what Teletone has told me is that no, these are actually programmed directly into the Beatmaker by, I believe, Jeremy, who is the, I don't actually know what Jeremy's title would be, but he's the one who programs these drums apparently. So, I mean, first of all, it obviously speaks to his ability to program drums in a super realistic and vibey, because these have groove. The Beatmaker stuff obviously speaks to his ability, but also the capabilities of this engine. It's really well designed. Looking at it at first, it can be a bit disorienting, but it's once you actually put your hands on it, it's actually very simple and straightforward. Really well designed. So happy to see the Beatmaker there. Of course, they have tremendous walkthrough videos. You should watch those far more than you should be watching this one, but yeah, they do that very comprehensively. A trailer, which I'm sure is super vibey, as they always are. And again, I've heard very little of this, just like tiny snippets, so this will be an authentic response. So they talk about the ribbon microphones more. I love ribbon mics in modern music, especially. I don't know if that's a good way of describing it, but I find that I try and combat harshness a lot when I'm working with music, and I feel like ribbon microphones really fight that harshness very nicely, because they give you a sort of softer capture of the source sound, which then becomes easier to work with in the production mixing realm. So overall, obviously a fan of that, and obviously for this genre of music, quite appropriate. Iron alloy transformers. Each drum was meticulously recorded using iron alloy transformers, which gave the recording a rich, warm analog sound. Okay, makes sense. Analog tone shaping. Yeah, I'm not surprised to see that the chain has been very meticulous and analog. And again, Jeremy goes through the drum kits and samples. I'm sure this is fantastic stuff. Crispy, tight, and punchy. 41 different kits from over 100 vintage and modern drums. Recorded with multiple round robins and velocity layers. Kick, snares, hi-hats, toms, rides, crashes. Wide range of percussive elements like bongos, maracas, cowbell, tambourines, shakers, clav, snaps, claps, and much more. Cool. Inspired beats and grooves. Over 100 beats inspired by our favorite artists, decades, and style. So I think, again, this is one of the things that you're really paying for here, which is their, first of all, their musical, the breadth of their musical knowledge and taste and skill and ability is it's sort of baked into these libraries. So you're really, that's a big part of what you're paying for, and you do get bang for your buck, at least with the previous libraries. But they bring that musicality, that musical sense into these things, and Teletone does that probably better than anyone else. So that's really something to keep in mind. Each beat includes 7 variations, giving you more than 700 grooves. Okay, syncs perfectly with your host BPM without any time stretching or loss of fidelity. Cool. Then there's the Beatmaker, bendable beats. Oh yes, I love this this engine. Yeah, we use that a lot in the tempo electro demos or videos. But yeah, very simple system. You drive these different effects with your pitch wheel and mod wheel controls. Like they say, time stretch, pitch shift, multiply, beat, create to create an expressive and elastic performance. Those are super good. Again, super musical, sound great, very intuitive, super fast. This is just perfectly done, at least so far. And works with the free Contact Player VST. Cool. Then we have some testimonials. Luke simply says, sounds amazing. Double exclamation mark. All right. Contact 6.8 update required. Please note that unlike our previous instruments, which utilize Contact 6.7.1, Soulfi is built for Contact 6.8. So make sure you do that. Price is $129. Again, I really like their pricing model. These are, make no mistake, that's how you say it. These are, boutique sample libraries, just fantastic libraries. I'm just having a peek at some of the other prices, but I do remember they are roughly in the same ballpark. Yeah, Tempo is $129. Electro is, I think, the same. Why is my internet so horse shit? Oh, come on. It does something very special to your nervous system when the internet doesn't work. Yeah, Electro 129. And let's have a look at Legibet, $89. Okay, so that's roughly the ballpark we're talking about here. Super boutique, fantastic sample libraries, really at the pinnacle of what they do specifically in the world of sample libraries. So they're not like these are very specific sample libraries in terms of their style. So you're not getting like 20 different libraries in one, which I don't personally really love that approach anyway. So yeah, very specific sounding libraries, but they have unimaginable depth, and even more than that, they have unimaginable precision and style and fidelity. So that's what you're really looking at. I like the pricing because this is like really well priced, because you get so much, and this doesn't break the bank. It's not free. It's not super cheap, but I think it sits in a nice pocket. I think they've really studied the market really well, and I feel like they're pricing themselves really well. 4 gigs download size. Jeez. Haven't filmed the video in a few days, so in a few weeks. 9 gigs disk space required during installation because you need the double size. Download via Pulse app. Again, I love Pulse. It's the best downloader out there. And this works, as we said, with the Contact Player Free, and you do need 6.8 or above. Cool. I think that's about it. Let's take ourselves over here. I don't quite have this this camera figured out. It's a bit wonky, I will admit. That's what we're working with that today. So let's go ahead and close Chrome here. Okay, what else do we want to touch? So in terms of what we're going to do today, I'm just going to play as much of this as possible. Just going to try and show you what it sounds like out of the gate. We're not going to go super technical. We're going to probably cover the basics of this interface, etc., but just give you an idea of what it sounds like out of the box, and then you can get an idea of whether this is for you or not. In terms of what you'll be hearing today, it's only Soulfi in action. I don't add any effects, no compression, EQ, reverb, nothing. It's only as Soulfi comes out of the box. I have a limiter on my master bus to make the level decent for this video so that it's as viewable, enjoyable as possible. That being said, it's set to be as transparent as possible so that we are doing minimal coloration to this. This is a percussive library, so working with the limiter is a little more sort of sensitive, but I'll keep an eye on it throughout this so that we don't crush any peaks too much. So even with this being drums, it's set to be as transparent as possible. And I think that's it. In terms of transparency, Teletone Audio did send me this copy. So first of all, thank you to them for doing so. That being said, all opinions are my own, both in good and bad. Haven't been asked to say anything one way or the other, nor would I ever do that. Is that all? I think that's all I can come up with at this point. When you open this up, and yeah, by the way, the view of this is a bit funny for you probably, because this interface is super tall. It's not wide, it's tall. But I think that's actually a very solid design choice, because you sort of follow this, top down linearly, and it linearly. That's my best shot. Which makes sense in terms of like signal flow and designing this from a creative, or working with this from a creative standpoint. When you open this in Contact, that's a nice mix of colors on the left, but when you open the instrument tab, it only opens up the Soulfi NKI, so everything else happens here. What did I do? Here in the actual interface. Yeah, so in terms of the selection, nothing happens in the Contact menus here. Just going through the interface, you got your home page, which is the sound design elements, so the creative effects. Then you have kit selection, and then beat selection. So kit selection selects from this menu the type of kit you're going to work with, and in that you got user kits and factory kits. And beat selection is the type of beat that the Beatmaker is going to play back. So each of these kits has just the actual drums in the red keys, and then you have this blue zone, which actually plays those pre-made beats. And yes, you can also make your own beats in the Beatmaker. And as you can see, when I press the blue key, it's actually playing the actual notes in the red zone. So it's not playing a loop, rather it's in, I presume, MIDI information or some whatever form they use, telling the engine what to do and what to play. And this makes this super flexible. First of all, from educational learning perspective, it's fantastic because I can actually see what it's doing and I can learn from those patterns. But also it means that I can go into the Beatmaker and, tune all of this stuff. So as you can see, the blue keys down here correspond to the numbers up top here. So as I'm going through them, Soulfi is cycling through the Beatmaker, I don't know what these are called, pages, different pages, and all of them can include a dedicated beat, which is programmed in, and then it plays back these samples in this red zone, as if I was playing them myself. So that's the idea. Fantastic, fantastic engine. I love this setup here. Then down here you got a drum detail box, which has pages for all the individual drums that are in play. So kick, snare, hi-hat, tom 1 and 2, ride, crash, perk 1, 2, and 3. And in each of those you can load whatever is available in that specific drum. So as you can see, quite a lot. There's a kick page, snare page, got a lot of stuff here. And this doesn't even include any of the specific, EQ adjustments that they have included in these presets. So yeah, a lot of stuff here. And then the Beatmaker page, as we sort of went through, also includes the bars or the areas for all those individual drums, and then you can program those as you wish. And as you can see, you can create more divisions. So in the kick, for example, we have how many is this? 4, 8, 12, 16 divisions. And for example, in the hi-hat, we have 8. So you can create more of those or less as per the sequence you want to create. Yeah, I just love this system. It's so well done. When I adjust the pitch wheel here, you can see the dial move around. Same for the mod wheel. So everything here on the stretch, sorry, on the left, on the pitch wheel side is assigned to the pitch wheel, and then everything next to the mod wheel is assigned to the mod wheel. Makes sense. Then you got general effects as well, which I didn't touch on, but distress, which is kind of like, if I remember correctly, it's kind of like a compression, which to me, if I remember correctly, also has some saturation components. Decade is kind of like an age knob, making it older or newer sounding. And then effects, you can choose chorus, flanger, phaser, saturation, etc. In reverb, you got room plate, spring, vintage, spring coil, spring tank, and slap. For swing, you can adjust what the swing is going to be like. You got different time signatures there, and noise. Ooh. So you got cassette, room tone, and vinyl. That's really, really good. I love noise. Really vibey effect to have. And they have sounded really good for Teletone. That's one of the things you'd expect Teletone to nail, is the noise, because these guys are all about the vibe. So I have learned my lesson, I think, from our previous videos, which I've started to play these at first myself, which I don't think demonstrates this in the best possible light. Like, one of the strengths of these libraries is that you get their musicality, their musical sense, their skill, their programming ability, their productional abilities, all of those things at your disposal through these different beats that are included here. And even if you don't use them, they can be great starting points, because you can first of all find a drum sound that works perfectly for your track. That's how I recommend using this, rather than trying to tweak your sound yourself from the ground up. And this is a recommendation for most people, because most people's productional abilities are not going to be at the level that these guys are at. It's just a a frank truth. And you should be using that to your advantage so that you can create tremendous music. Because these guys, you know, mix and produce and create these drum sounds for you to be using. So please use that. You don't have to create everything from the ground up yourself. You can, of course, if you want to, that's your choice. But in many cases, I recommend choosing a kit that sounds good to you. And then even working backwards from this beat making perspective. So you can choose a beat you like that kind of fits your track, and then you can go into the beat maker and adjust. Of course, if you are a fantastic finger drummer, then do your thing and go from there. But in terms of demonstrating this at its sort of fullest capacity, I think we're gonna start with the beat selection. So you got folders here for the BPMs. Again, pretty much any of these BPMs will, I mean, from a technical standpoint, then they will stretch or fit or bend to your host BPM. That's not the issue. One of the things to consider, which was the point I was trying to make, was that even if it says, you know, 80 BPM, you can still use these in 60 or 130, and then they'll just sound very different. So don't be too close-minded by the BPM on the box, the label. But that being said, these are good starting points. But if you don't find what you're looking for in the BPM that you happen to be working in, just dive into the other BPMs and look for stuff that, you know, fits your style. So we are now in 124 BPM, which is kind of one of my standards right now for this project that I'm working in. So we're gonna choose 120, and we'll just go one at a time. So now it's selected the beat here, and as you can see, the kit also changes per the beat selected. So they're, you know, stylized for each beat. So we're just going to play as many of these as I can. I think we might go through all of them, maybe, perhaps. I'll try and be pretty fast. I'll just play a few beats here from each. Again, playing these blue keys. And again, different blue keys, again, going to the Beatmaker page, is going to play a slight different variation of that same beat. So this allows you to kind of fit them to your track in different sections, and also gives you different starting points if that's what you're looking for. So let's get going. This one is called Control Ill. Probably not going to go through all these names. I think it's more important to go through the different sounds. So let's start playing. What we're going to also do, okay, so first of all, there's some level fluctuations here. I'm going to try and keep the limiter in a place that kind of works for it all. When I find a really interesting beat, I'm probably going to play with some of these sound design elements because they are so much fun. So just keep an eye on that. And also one thing to keep in mind is as you dig deeper into or further up in the blue keys, usually the beat gets more complex and there's more variety there. Okay, that's super vibey, super dark, very dark. That's kind of very exceptional in a very positive way. Okay, let's play a bit with some of these effects. Stretch, filter, I think that's enough, and then let's do spread and tune on the mod wheel. So that's really cool. Becomes a low pass when you go down, and becomes a high pass when you go up. Or is this? Yeah, high pass. And then you can hear a bit of that stretching going on. I'm actually going to take off the filter. So I'm not clearly activating the mod wheel here. So I'm clearly missing something here. It's definitely working, obviously, because we could hear the feel. But in terms of the spread, so I'm guessing I don't have what? I'm guessing I don't have something selected here. I don't remember what it is. Horrible use from my part, but yeah, just getting reacquainted with that system there. Also, you gotta obviously keep a good track on your click or tempo. This is a super cool control. I don't remember if focus has been in the previous drum libraries, but this is really cool. When you pull it back, focus is on the low elements of the drum. So you can go like kick only, or then go high up and you get the cymbals only. That's super good because it kind of like gives a more dynamic element to the Beatmaker. It kind of extends it without you having to program another page for the Beatmaker. So if you just want to drop down to the kick or get the kick out for a second, you can use that. That's fantastic. Again, another brilliant example of understanding some of the creative musical needs that musicians might have, and just having like a really quick, fun access control for that. wonder why the tune is not doing anything out of the gate. What am I missing here? So there's the tune control on the individual drum here. Okay, but that's not... So this would pitch shift it. Okay, so... okay, we probably don't have... Okay, in Beatmaker page, you got a tune page here. Okay, so probably doesn't have anything selected there. Yeah, so that shows how that works. So we just don't happen, if nothing is happening out of the gate, means nothing is programmed to that. So in the Beatmaker page, when you select for the tune sequence, and as I drew stuff in there, that was the pattern. So when I maximize that, it maximally expresses that pattern, and when I pull it down, it minimizes that. So again, this is just so well thought through. And again, if there's nothing out of the box for something, they just probably didn't find any interesting uses for it there, but... That's such a good control, because you can arrange your drum parts very kind of naturally, intuitively, fast. That's such a good control, that focus. Yeah, that's really good stuff. Really good stuff. I'm very impressed by the fact that this really goes hard in terms of its spectral profile, for the lack of a better word. It's very dark. It's very musty, dare I say. And I really like that. And again, I love that these libraries go very specific in terms of the style. And I think Teletone libraries are a super clear and simple purchase for the customer, because if you love the sound, these are like instant buys. There's no questions about it, because just the design of these, the utility of them, the usability, everything is just top notch. So if you love the sound of it, it's just an instant buy. But then a lot of people are going to be like, "Ooh, that's not my sound. That's not for me," and then you're not going to buy it. So it's kind of a very simple purchase path for most people, because you either hear it and love it, or you hear it and don't like the sound. Promise at some point I'll do interesting uses for this sound design engine. Obviously, this being kind of like about that darker vibey sound, many of these effects can be associated more with like a modern sound. Obviously, many people use old sounds in a modern way and a modern context, so that's no issue. But you definitely have to be very mindful of what you're doing here. But again, that goes like 100% into that sound. It's not like halfway. We're trying to kind of be soulful, vibey. No, it's like textbook that sound, which I love. Again, so many libraries kind of, they state a mission, they state a style that they're after, they have like a subtitle, but then they don't quite actually do it. So this is something I really appreciate in the Teletone approach. Okay, it seems like we went through all of the 120 BPM kits. Let's go backwards. We'll do 120 and 110. My speech is really all over the place when it comes to reading numbers. It's getting worse. So changing my host BPM to 110. Yeah, I got that right. And then we'll just go through these ones. So I really want to test the spread. Don't cancel me for saying that. Let's draw something here. So I think that was kind of like a dispersion. Oh, okay. So it's like, yeah, it's a pan. Yeah, I remember that last time I thought it meant like how far the notes are going to wander off from one another, but that's more like a, what's the term for that? Feel control here. So yeah, this is like a pan control. Okay, cool. Again, that's super cool. Just a slight nuance you can add in a track. Something so small, something subtle, you don't really, most people don't register consciously, but it creates a bit of movement, bit of change. It's so well designed, this whole thing. It's very, very well done. That's really cool. I mean, yeah, it's a good example of like, you can take something super vibey from a certain genre and style and just add a tad bit of something modern processing there, and it's just kind of revivified into a modern context here. Very, very cool. With the tune control, so we've got the time stretch. I'm kind of wishing there was like a, can there be like a global tuning thing? Because I'd want to pitch shift with this like very fast. So I would probably, as far as I understand this, would have to go into each one of these. No, I do remember there was a global control somewhere, but I don't remember how to open it. I am sorry, but just to test this thingy-majiggy here, I'm gonna draw tuning. I'm so sorry, Teletone guys, I'm butchering this, because I do remember that there was a way to open all. Okay, so there's a copy. Okay, so when I hover over these buttons, it would be nice to have a help box appear. As far as I can tell, there is no, but you can So you can apparently, that's a copy symbol, and I think the other one is save. Okay, so now when I move this, you can see the tuning shift. So let's try that out. So nothing's happening. Wait a minute. I pressed the wrong key because obviously these have specificity to the page that you're in. That's so good. I mean, there is, I do remember, I think, that there was a way to set this globally faster for all of these. There's a that's a copy button, right? I'm sorry guys, I'm butchering this. But that sounds so good. I wish that was kind of globally set to all of them. I understand that it's, because you got to tell it which way you want to pitch. Because now it's simply accentuating the adjustment I made, which is to pitch down all the way as far as possible. So, but maybe it would be nice to... So I think pitch was included on the pitch wheel side before. I think. Because I remember it being faster to pitch. There would be, I would really like that, and it would make sense from a kind of standardized perspective as well, because you don't want pitch. So it seems like they thought of here as tune as kind of like a vibey thing. It's not, you're not supposed to, like, out of the box at least, pitch bend this the same way you did with tempo, or I think electro as well. So it's kind of like a stylistic choice here. I still would just love that pitch shifting sound. But that's such a cool, you can create such a cool vibe. Yeah, I mean, such a cool thing. Just a few simple things I'm doing here, but it creates so much. I mean, these are so refined, so good from just out of the box. Just a few effect tweaks makes these just insanely good. Yeah, I would love to have the... I mean, it tells a lot that it's called tune. It's like, hey, you want to fine tune your drums here in a generalized control. It's not called pitch shift. So I would love to actually have a pitch shift here on the pitch wheel side, because again, that's often something you want to do sort of momentarily. And also the pitch wheel is pulling itself back to the center always. So that's kind of something that helps in timing the pitching perfectly. And you also usually want to return to the perfect pitch at the center. So that's something I would add. I think many people love that in the other releases and would probably want to see it here as well. But it seems like they made kind of like a creative musical assessment and decision there not to include it here. But this will sound so great in many other modern genres that kind of just want to use the sound of the soul, So yeah, I would love to see that. I love that focus control. It is so good. So good. And again, that kind of time stretching is a very kind of modern sound. So by that same token, the pitch shifting would go into that same category. And again, what I love about this is that these are instantly inspiring. Like some of these come up and I'm already thinking about a track. I'm thinking about music. I'm like, oh, I want to write. So this, again, this is a superpower of these libraries because they bring these fantastically refined and inspiring musical ideas here. And obviously that's going to be different for everybody. I hear this and start jamming and you hear it and wished that I went to the next preset, but I'm not gonna. So, you know. Yeah, really good. And also, the last key here, I think, is kind of like an ending switch. Don't know exactly how that works. I think in tempo, maybe the last key was like kind of like a crash kick. Doesn't seem like it's that here, but it definitely works. It stops the sequence. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's very vibey. Very cool. One of the things I'm immediately thinking about from an interface point of view would be a key switch control over here, let's say, for example, where it turns on and off these different effects. So in theory, if you were flexible enough, you could simply, control. Well, I mean, it doesn't take much. Press the beat you want to play, and then I could turn on and off these different effects here. In fact, I have a memory that would have been maybe the case before. Maybe that's a false memory, but would be really cool. Again, another interface addition. Turn each and every one of these effects on and off. So then that way I could perform with this faster. I could even be finger playing here and then, turn on and off these different effects because then I wouldn't be having to click with a mouse. Now, I'm not saying that's best, like that I would perform like that live, but even in the studio, like producing that would be super nice and fast. Even if I'm not doing it in real time, I could kind of sort of perform the effects on a different pass. That would be very nice. Obviously, you can automate those in different ways. So that's obviously doable otherwise, but would be nice to have that baked into this interface. really good, super snappy. The mixing here, again, really, really nicely done. It's tricky when you have like a very dark sound. How do you make it crispy and punchy when it needs to be, but they can clearly pull it off. Yeah, I mean, just look at all the action happening in the red zone. The programming of this gets pretty intense. Oh, that low end is perfectly muffled and puffy. It's really nice with the filter. You can kind of create an additional element of rhythm if you kind of do it well enough. Yeah, so some of these are just out of the gate a lot louder than others. I mean, this is clipping already in Contact, this preset, so definitely want to be pulling that back. Yeah, some of those very extreme peaks are going to be caught by the limiter, so that's, you know, just going to happen. Cool. That was 110 BPM. It's going to 100. I'm going to also change these. And again, you can go with any BPM, but we'll just try and kind of present these in the light that they have thought of. I mean, the complexity of these programmings here are just really, really, really good. I know there was a master way of changing all of these at the same time, but I don't remember where that was. And again, to kind of demonstrate this, we can choose any kit in any of these beats. It's ridiculously flexible. Like if you just want to try a different sound, you like a beat, but not maybe the kit so much. This system is so good. That sounds so good. These are so good. This is a good example of like, this could be very easily, immediately usable in a modern context. Super snappy. Oh, that's so well done. But it has that soul of the sound. Yeah, this folder is really fire to my taste. So good. And that focus control, that's a fantastic tool, because immediately gives that immediate drum arrangement control without having to go into the Beatmaker. I'm gonna do it. Yeah. That is good. Good stuff. Oh, that kick. Yeah, I wish that tune thing was kind of faster, accessible. Ooh, that slight brush or some kind of a, what is that? The back kick. Interesting sound. It's somewhere in here. Shh. Sounds like some kind of a brush. I don't know. Okay, so this is getting into a very modernized sound. This is kind of the first sound that is distinctively modern. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry for that. Oh, the way the clap comes together. Perfect, like wet, and then. That's what I mean by you can go through these and then you can sort of pick and choose what you like and go in there and see, okay, this uses this clap from this kit. I can take that and use that to build my own like perfect kit for my track. Because these are really well processed, so you can really, you know, find gems in here and then combine them as you wish. Oh, the stereo snap spread on that one. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Super nice. I love that kind of a groove. Going into 90 BPM. The kind of things I do for you people. There's so many of these. Again, going for that more modern edge. Again, that's so vibey, that's so specific, so inspiring. Also love the noise that was kind of swooping in and out. That kick is magical. Again, like the programming on that groove, the feel of it, the lag, and that's really well done. Again, all of those like cracks and clocky type of things, really super good. Seems like a lot of the miscellaneous percussive things are super, super nice. Those are the kind of things that I'm always looking for. So I'm really happy this one offers interesting options there. Yeah, I mean, again, it's like a lot of these are super tame in terms of like the kind of craziness that they can do. Like that's like super rich, complex. And to be clear, I love all of it, but it's like there's a lot of just kind of more standard stuff that can fit a lot more sort of general use cases. But then you have these kind of like super crazy programming, very dense musicality kind of stuff in here, and I love all of it. That's a good example of the pitch or the tune working here. So I'm guessing that's the kick. What is that? Or it's this percussion one. No? Yeah, seems like it. So that's a really cool example of the tuning element. Very nice. I like these tight drums. Yeah. I mean, even just taking that and playing your own stuff with that, that's such a good sounding kit. Again, that's one of the things I like. You can just play around with these and be like, ooh, that's a good sounding kick, and then you can, or kit, and then you can just play your own thing. Yeah. Brilliant. How good is that? It's so tight. Excellent. That's a fantastic example of the programming abilities here. That's such a good... Even, yeah. Again, that kick, ooh, that sits in such a good place. That click clack is spot on. I don't know what that is. It sounds like a bottle, but you know, it's probably like some kind of cowbell into some kind of a echo device. Really nice. But that kind of stuff that you can't quite pinpoint, very vibey, very unique. I just love anything like that in the percussive realm. Cool, I think that takes care of the 90 BPM folder. Let's go into, I mean, might as well do all of these at this point. This is 80 BPM. You can imagine how different these are in a different BPM. Let's just do like a 120. I've definitely changed the kit for that because it kind of like, it's a bit too loose for that tight of a tempo, but just to kind of demonstrate that. kick. There's so many magical kicks in here. Yeah. Yeah, these slow ones are, this really shines in a whole different way because it's like they're so sultry and yeah, really cool. It's just a fantastic sound. The reverb on that kick alone gives so much vibe, puts you in a place. And again, just a tiny clip, clap, whatever that is. That cymbal is perfect. I mean, how good is this? That it really has no business being that good, because that's record ready stuff. The sound is just so spot on. That one sounded so full. Cool, so that was 80 BPM Folder. Very vibey, super good stuff. This works really well for the slow BPMs as well. It kind of comes alive in a very different way. It can be very hard to maintain vibe at a very sort of, again, slow pace. So that speaks volumes about the productional quality of this. So again, this is 70 BPM if I didn't say that already. That's so nice. It's in those slow BPMs where the reverbs really can shine because they have all that space. That stereo image is crazy. That ride is ear candy. This is really good. Nice, and going into the final folder, which is 60 BPM, getting very slow. Quite interesting. Some of these can get insanely loud because they just don't really take up a lot of space in a sort of a full-scale sense, so you can really push them. That hi-hat is so sweet. Yeah, excellent. Okay, so that's all of the beat selections. Obviously we didn't play every single variation, but something from all of those. And again, within all of those, you can just change the kits, of which we have 41 different kits. Should we do like a really quick... I ballsed it up already. So yeah, what I was thinking is we could play all of these kits really fast. 41 of them. What I'm not sure of is whether any... Yeah, it seems like the effects... Okay, so this is initialized. Okay, because otherwise I think the beat selection effects and those kind of carry over. So I think the best I can see, this should be kind of initialized now. Let me set this limiter in a different place. These are really good. By the way, I'm only going to touch on the kick, snare, and hi-hat here, but that is insanely good. Such puffy sound. It sits perfectly with itself. Snare is so good. It's kind of like boxy, clappy. The cymbals here are insanely good. That snare is insane. Again, that hi-hat, that focus, so good. So good. So good. And again, if there's an element like in that previous one, I would change the hi-hat to something sharper. You can just go in the drum detail page and change that sound to whatever you want. This is just like insanely flexible. So good. Really good. Okay, I think we played all the kits as well, sort of out of the gate. So I think this sort of pretty much wraps up what we're looking at here. Anything else we want to touch on in terms of demonstration? I don't think so. That was pretty much it. So to summarize this, another fantastic drum sample library by Teletone. Definitely delivers on the, you know, soul genre aspect. If that's definitely something you want to be using, then at least I haven't come across anything better than this. It's just so detailed and highly produced and mixed from a, you know, sonic standpoint. So I think you would struggle to find this level of productional quality and, you know, matching the sound of that anywhere else. At least I haven't come across anything like that. And this just does it in such a musical context. Like they understand the sound that they're chasing and very well deliver on that. That being said, this will work really, really well in multiple different genres. So what I was sort of not afraid of, but I was thinking, you know, will this be like hyper applicable just for that kind of soul style genre sound? But I definitely don't think that. I see this as being like a fantastic extension, rather pairing with tempo. Tempo definitely leans more into that more generalized modern sound and has like more punchiness and presence in a sort of modern way. Some of the sounds here definitely have that as well, but this definitely wants to more lean to that kind of darker, mustier, sultry type of a thing. But yeah, I mean, the thing about this is the sounds are fantastically captured, which means that from a productional kind of mixing standpoint, you can just tune those sounds to sound like whatever you want. And again, you got such a massive amount of different drums. I mean, you get all of these kits, 41 kits, and in each of those, I mean, just looking at the different hi-hats we have, I don't know how many this is, but you can count. That's just the amount of hi-hats you can choose from, different snares you can choose from. So the flexibility and versatility of this is immense. In general, I just say like, yeah, it does have like a darker, softer tone to it. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. But from that perspective, it's very easy to compress and saturate and treat things so that they become more, punchier, more present. And that's really the strength of certainly ribbon mics, but a lot of the recording techniques that they've utilized here, because it's easier to bring presence and sharpness to a sound when it's tracked in a sort of a softer, gentle way than it is to track something that is very has more presence out of the gate just from right after tracking it, or when you track it. It's very hard to create softness for that in a way that's sort of three-dimensional and feels good and authentic. But yeah, I mean, in short, super, super flexible. So I would not be sort of reading too much into the idea that this will only be for soul music or for different genres that utilize similar sounds. This can really change its shape into different things, even just with this engine, because this is a really powerful engine. Again, very musically put together. So yeah, so I say with tempo, this really creates a super powerful pair. There is a fair bit of overlap there. I wouldn't say I at no point did I feel like, oh, this is just another tempo, like this is just like a different take on that. It does sound very different. So that's why I find these to be super supplementary, and they kind of like, I mean, together, putting these together, I wish there was a way you could sort of link the two. Obviously, you can use different contact, two instances of contact, and then program whatever you need from each to, form your full drum kit if you want to mix them. But I wish there was like some kind of under the hood way of linking them, so you could use both of the samples in the same Beatmaker. That would be pretty powerful. Cool. In terms of the sound design section here, for this, I mean, first of all, I love the focus control. I don't remember if that's a new thing or not, but fantastic. Tremendously enhances the usability of this and the musicality of this without having to program as much stuff. Again, the stretch, the chaos, whether these are relevant to you probably comes down to whether you want to do sort of more modern things. So definitely I'm finding use cases for those. A lot of these velocity, feel, spread, tune controls, as far as I could tell, not that we tried velocity or feel very much, but don't seem to be pre-programmed much in here. So you need to Certainly the tuning wasn't. So you want to go in there and program those yourself. Those are probably the controls that for the sound of this sort of would be more immediate things that you would go to. Actually, velocity was quite a lot programmed into there, obviously, for obvious reasons. But yeah, I wish there was a kind of a more immediate global pitch shift control here on the pitch wheel side. I just love using that, and I think it sounded fantastic on this when we tried it. So I wish there was a faster way to kind of pitch shift the whole thing up or down. It sounded really, really nice when we did try that. So I would add that to the pitch wheel side here. But yeah, I mean, overall, pretty much what I can say is it's fantastic. And like I said, with any Teletone product, it's pretty immediate when you hear it if you like the sound. And if you like the sound, there's probably nothing better like that out there. At least in most cases, I haven't bumped into. Nothing comes to mind that kind of beats the sound that they're going for. So if this is like your sound, then this is pretty much like an insta-buy. So yeah, another fantastic drum sample library by Teletone. If you have this at your studio or at home, let me know what you think about it, and certainly let me know what you think of this video. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Finished.